The 2011 horror mystery movie Silent House. You may have heard of or seen this movie yourself. Now, this movie is so terrifying, tense, and traumatizing as well. The three T's. Now, what makes this movie so all these things is the silence, the overwhelming silence in this movie. You ever heard the expression how silence can be deafening? That's definitely a thing in this movie. The silence is just overwhelming. It's aggressive. It's always there. It just makes everything so tense. Like, you will literally jump at any little tiny noise, any little creak of a door, any little creak of a floorboard, any little slight footstep, anything. And it's just so terrifying. It makes you so tense and terrified and traumatized and paranoid, even. And it's just, yeah, just scary. And another thing that makes this movie so terrifying, tense, or traumatizing is how it's shot. Now, this movie is different than a lot of other movies. A lot of other movies are shot, with cuts and jump cuts and stuff like that. Not this movie. This movie is done in one continuous shot. And I don't know, something about that just, it's just makes it more scary, more terrifying. Especially since it really makes you feel like you're there with the main character, experiencing the same things as them, You're there with the main character, which I think is a girl in this one, in this movie. You're there with her, hiding under these tables, trying to be as silent as possible, trying not to make any noise, and also listening for noise as well, you know. You're there stumbling around in the darkness, hiding in closets, you know. And it's really, the fact that it's done in this one continuous shot just makes it so immersive and so terrifying. You feel like you're really there, experiencing this silent nightmare with her, with the main character. And it's just, yeah, it just makes it 10 times more terrifying and tense and traumatizing and scary. But, yeah. Now, when I first watched this movie, I couldn't even get all the way through it because of all this, It scared me that bad. It terrified me that bad. It traumatized me that bad. It literally made me paranoid. And honestly, it didn't help the fact that I was watching it while I was home alone and at nighttime as well. That didn't help matters. That really didn't. And yeah, I couldn't finish it because of that. I literally had to stop it and because I got so scared and terrified and paranoid, of every little noise and every little thing. I constantly was making sure my doors were locked and my windows were locked, and every time I heard a little noise, like my house creaking or some other random little noise outside, I would go out and look out the windows and stuff and double check my doors and everything else and the windows and everything. Yeah, it caused this movie caused this kind of fear. That's I think it's kind of natural for some people. The fear of, being home alone at nighttime and stuff, and home intruders and people being in your house, breaking in your house and whatnot. That whole fear, that's what I feel like this movie is really, really gets into your brain. Makes you feel that kind of fear. I feel like that's what this movie is really about. Is that sort of fear. It's trying to elicit that sort of fear that a lot of people have. But yeah. Now, yeah, I like I said, I couldn't finish the movie. I had to literally wait till the next day when it was daylight and I wasn't home alone to finish the rest of the movie. And yeah. And let's just say the ending, the twist ending, was not really that scary. It was more weird, confusing, and honestly, I didn't know what to think of it. But everything else about this movie was great. It was tense, scary, terrifying, traumatizing, made you paranoid. It elicited that kind of fear of being home alone and at nighttime and, you know, and everything. And it just because of the overall everything, the silence, that made everything tense, the overwhelming, over aggressive silence, the highly immersive, done in one continuous shot thing made you, feel like you were there, experiencing the same things, and it made you, even more terrified. And it just, yeah. But it's still, like I said, even with the weird, confusing ending, it's still a great movie. Pretty good movie. And yeah, definitely terrifying and tense and traumatizing. The three T's again. And yeah, definitely probably not a movie I would watch again. Honestly, even though it is pretty good movie for all those things I mentioned, I still probably wouldn't watch it again. Mainly because I don't really want to put myself through that sort of, you know, terrifying, tense paranoia stuff again. You know, I don't want to really put myself through that, or I don't really want to experience that again. So yeah, I probably wouldn't watch it again, but it's still a pretty good movie, minus the trauma and everything else. Yeah.